A mother of four was arrested and could face a year in jail after her then 10-year-old son was walking alone in their small town in Georgia.
You're under arrest.
For what?
For the incident we talked about earlier today.
What am I under arrest for?
For reckless endangerment.
And how was I recklessly endangering my child?
We're not talking about it.
So we're going to call mommy and tell them they're taking me to jail because you decided to walk down the street.
Let go of your hands.
That's not his fault.
Brittany Patterson and her lawyer, David DeLugas, joins us now. Wow. Brittany, David, I'm so glad to have you on. Brittany, I can't tell you how outraged I am looking at that video of you being arrested. By the way, this is the same government. I know this was a state government, but our country allows children to walk across our border alone. And your child was going to the grocery store in a little town. Just before we talk about what happened, how traumatizing has this been for your family?
It's definitely been a little traumatizing. My kids have never seen anything like that or been exposed to anything like that. So really their first encounter with police or law enforcement to see them taking their mother out of their home in handcuffs, I think was pretty traumatizing.
So your son was 10 years old. You didn't give him permission to go, but had he asked you if he could walk to that store, would you have allowed him to go?
I probably would have, yeah.
And so why do you think law enforcement is pursuing this? And I should let people know, law enforcement says they'll drop the charges if you agree to put a GPS tracker on your son's phone, on your phone, so you can track your son. Why is law enforcement pursuing this? What is going on in this town?
I don't know. I can't begin to understand what's going on in their minds. So that's a mystery to me as well. But I do want to clarify that they never officially, in writing or verbally, have offered to drop any charges. They said, possibly, maybe, if I sign the safety plan. But that was never anything official in writing.
David, you're the lawyer. What are the next steps for this family? And is the message to parents, at least in this community, that unless you're watching your kids 100% of the time, you're a bad, negligent parent?
Thank you for having us on. The answer is parents everywhere need to be concerned because somebody with a uniform, a badge, and a gun can go get an arrest warrant at any time for anything. And here, the statute she was charged with was declared unconstitutional by the Georgia Supreme Court in 1997. So that's problematic. This deputy also told her, yes, it's illegal for someone 10 to walk, and that it's clearly not. By the way, he was 11 within a few days. And the irony here, too, is the next day was Halloween, where kids walk, often without their parents, door to door in the dark and knock on the doors of strangers. And yet he was in the middle of the day just walking down the street 9/10 of a mile. So the safety plan, it does not make him more safe. And also, by the way, he wasn't unsafe to begin with. Yeah. So for those viewers who are thinking, well, just sign the safety plan. No other parent in the state is required to put a GPS device on their child's phone, who then later may, by the way, delete the app. The battery runs out. They forget to bring it.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing if you want to put a GPS tracker on your kid's phone, that's fine. But for the government to tell you, the state or the county to tell you to do it is a whole other thing. Brittany, this has sparked such a larger conversation about free-range childhood versus this bubble-wrapped helicopter parenthood, childhood. So just give me for a second your thoughts on that, because I think that's the conversation a lot of other parents are having, besides the government interference, which we can all agree on.
And I think it's an important conversation because the reality is that as parents, we should have that autonomy, whether we want to wrap our kids in bubble wrap or whether we want to give our kids a little more freedom and autonomy. It should be our decision as parents and not the decision of some government authority who doesn't even know our kids or know our family. So I do think this conversation is very important because I am starting to realize that this has been happening for a long time and it's much more prevalent than I realize and than I think most people realize. So as parents, I think we should all be concerned about that.
Well, God bless you, Brittany. I'm really sorry your family had to go through this, that your children had to see you getting arrested. It's just unbelievable. By the way, Fox News reached out to the Fannin County Sheriff's Office for comment. They said they do not comment on pending cases. Brittany Patterson, David DeLugas, thanks for bringing this to our attention. A lot of parents are paying attention.
Thank you so much.
You got it.
Thank
Take care.
you.
God bless you and happy Thanksgiving. Awful.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.